Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is my distinct pleasure to address our esteemed adjudicators, the esteemed audience, and distinguished protocol observed, such as our Deputy Governor, Mr. Epsom Wambuta. My name is Vincent Shivolo, and I will be the Prime Minister for the Proposition House. Our House believes that the Bank of Namibia should put more weight on achieving price stability at the risk of a prolonged financial recession, because we believe that in everything, especially within the banking and the financial sectors, there's something that we call risk and reward. And we need to mitigate risks and also at the same time making sure that the rewards that are put in place are there to benefit the Namibian people, the relevant stakeholders, such as Bank of Namibia, commercial banks, and most importantly, the man on the ground, the general public. But before we go into the meat of our debate, I want to put forth some definitional elements so we can understand the confines of the argument we are trying to present and to characterize this debate. What is price stability? Price stability basically refers to a situation where the general levels of prices in an economy is not rising or falling rapidly. This means that the purchasing power of money is relatively stable and people can be confident that prices of goods and services will not change dramatically from one day to the next. What is a prolonged financial recession? Basically, a prolonged financial recession is when you have declined economic activity for about 2 financial quarters. A financial quarter is roughly 3 months. Booms and busts happen all the time. It's inherent to the traditional financial system and to all economies. We know that there will be periods of recessions and there will be periods of economic growth. But one thing that we also have to understand is that one of the major risks or the major causes to inflation is price instability. And what we believe as House proposition is that the Bank of Namibia, as the main stakeholder, should safeguard the mandate of achieving price stability. What are the benefits of price stability? Number one, consumer confidence in purchasing power, creating an optimal environment for businesses, planning, investment, and efficient allocation of goods and resources. What types of inflation do we have? We have cost push inflation, which is the cost of doing business, demand inflation, which basically means that when the general public like you, when you have more income, the demand of goods and services go up. When the demand of goods and services go up, we have the increase of prices. And the last cause of inflation is things like printing money or government debt. What I want to argue is that the Bank of Namibia has a role and a mandate when it comes to the supply of money. But what we want to do is to make sure that the money that's being supplied within the economy is being put to productive use. Money supply controlled by the central bank should be in line with the creation of new goods and services, implementation of new technologies, whereby value addition to the economy is funded by this money supply. Because if the economy is growing, if the people are prosperous, it is worth taking the risk of a recession because the reward is economic growth. The reward is that not only the banks and the high economic players, but the men on the ground can also prosper. That more people can get jobs because we're trying to grow the economy. Business investment, productive loans, productive bank credit will ultimately yield low inflation, loans that can be serviced and repaid, low inequality, and a stable economy. A good example of this would be Singapore. Bank credit creation should be focused on productive lending for productive purposes. Productive purposes like industrializing our production bases within various sectors. deepening our financial markets, creating jobs. Youth unemployment is close to 40%. And we need to be able to put policy that can allow most of us to be able to participate in an economy. Not only participate, but for us to be role players, to be able to grow this economy. And productive purposes that can also, most importantly, improve livelihoods. The only regulation that has succeeded in history in preventing asset bubbles and banking crises, whereby asset prices have been driven by more bank credit for financial transactions, is the guidance of bank credit. What we would like the Bank of Namibia to do is simply to guide how the money supply is being used. Not only just for financial transactions, but for productive purposes, as I have just said. My Deputy Prime Minister, Prince, will come and talk about affordability, and Vincent will touch on creating optimal environments for business planning and investment. I yield my time. Thank you very much.